Okay, so the Wendy Williams event went down over the weekend. If you were under a rock, if you know black culture, if you know pop culture, if you know music, if you know history, if you know anything about entertainment, then you know Wendy Williams. Okay, the queen of all talk. I think that's what she's been deemed. I stand. Okay, I give her the title. I think that she's totally deserving of it. Obviously, I followed her radio career as somebody that has monumental and really kind of paved the way for people that talk a lot of nonsense, like me. So there's been a period in my career when I was much more reckless, and I think that there's no woman that does what she does like she does it. What we learned, so over the weekend, Lifetime had the Wendy Williams biopic, which a lot of people were really not sure whether or not it was going to be something that that we were gonna like. But the thing, so it's called Wendy Williams the Movie. Wendy was played by Sierra Payton, and Wendy has been embattled in a number of situations over the last 3 or 4 years. We've kind of seen things unfold with her family, her ex-husband, who we all knew for, as long as we've known him, Kevin Hunter, which she told us last week that his name was actually Kelvin. And my God, a story that she told. So we were also pleased. Her husband was played by Morocco Omari, who's also from the show P-Valley and Empire. So I think what we saw was what the things that we always wondered. So we showed her the movie showed her upbringing. And even some things, and I think the thing about Wendy is that she shares it all, she bears it all, and you can laugh and cry with her. She's a big girl. The TV makes her look much bigger than she is. I've met her a few times, and she's not as massive as she looks on TV. But we found that, well, at least in the movie, we saw her upbringing with her mom kind of having a scale for her to weigh herself on, in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And I just really I think that's really, I have had a career of thinking that fat is funny. I've evolved into somebody that understands that, it's not, someone's demise is not. So I think something can be funny, and then at the same time, someone's demise cannot be, right? I don't think that you should be weighing children. This is not a weigh scale, that you have when you go from state to state, and tractor trailer trucks have to weigh themselves. Weighing, I think it's too much. And I think what was telling, we'll talk about, because after the movie, we also got a documentary, and I think I saw a lot of feedback. I was just sharing my feedback. I wasn't reading a lot. I think that the most crucial piece of the Wendy Williams event was undoubtedly the documentary that came after. And so in parallel, I'm gonna interchange the two. If you haven't seen it, then turn me off, come back, listen to the podcast. This is what we do. I thought it was telling that her mom, who recently, her late mother, Shirley Williams, who recently passed away, was in the documentary. But as she sat there with Wendy's father, Thomas, and they recalled her being weighed, how she would stand to the side of the scale to kind of tip, and they thought it was funny. And they were laughing, in the documentary, that, they still think that their fat daughter is funny. And I thought that was kind of telling just to the environment that she was in, because in some cases, it could be toxic. And I understand how someone could look at that and say, damn, this is a really, really toxic environment. The movie takes us through her career and shows how she split her time of making $9,000 a year at Radio 1 in DC, working for Kathy Hughes, which is also a media maven. She has done so much for black radio. For those of you that watch Unsung and things on TV One, that's all Kathy Hughes. And so the lack of excitement that they had for her as she got her big opportunity in New York at Kiss FM. You kind of saw the movie moved really fast. I think that I jumped into a Clubhouse room against my better judgment after the movie, and the writer of the movie jumped into, like, I can't remember her name. I was really wanting to go to sleep, but she jumped in and said, a lot of the people had questions, right? Why was this not a miniseries? Because you guys had to move through it so fast. There were so many things that you couldn't share with us, so many things that we didn't know, so many things that we were unclear on. And she said for legal reasons, there were so many things that they could not share. So, I think the documentary was created to give us the insight and have Wendy say what the movie couldn't. And I feel like the things that they showed in the movie, I felt like y'all said that. Like you said a lot. You said a lot. What we saw and what my takeaways, because I know I don't want to take all my time on this, but I think I have a few takeaways, right? I think that you give and you take, to get what you want. And I think we all want, like, the phrase, have your cake and eat it too. There's not a person on the planet that doesn't want that. There's not a person that does not exist today that would not love to just have everything their way. And I think that the Wendy Williams event showed that for someone to attain and achieve the type of success that she has, there is give and take. There are tons of people, and I'm still getting feedback right now. I'm interested in yours, 844 Unmuted, or Unmuted Nation on Twitter and Instagram. If you thought that Wendy should have gotten out of that situation sooner, the situation that she's in. Now, what we did see is that she had a drug habit. And I wanted to do all of the petty for you today and play clips of the Wendy interview. I also want to tread lightly and not take from Wendy's shine during this time. And I don't need a lawsuit right now. But we know that she's one of the most famous interviews. If you've never heard it before, Wendy. Or Whitney, as how she started the interview with Whitney Houston. And Whitney Houston had a lot to say about Wendy Williams. The documentary unpacks that a little bit more. And it kind of goes there. And Wendy even insinuated in that interview, she says, we have a lot in common. And Whitney responds famously, do we? To find out that she had a 10-year drug problem. And she said she was able to shake it within 3 days. She quit cold turkey. But to see that she was on that stuff for 10 years, like doing it, in her words, dipping it and doing it everywhere. She was all over the place. And like, it was very, I feel like on events like this and, biopics, and especially, like, you gotta grab us in the first 15 minutes, and I think Wendy understood that. I had a small group of COVID-free people here, that watched it with me, and I think that we were able to really analyze that she grabbed us. She got us, and I think that, it is something to see. I think how she comes out on top, even diving into her, and her husband of 20 years that has been cheating on her for 19 of those years, including the time that while she was pregnant on bed rest with their son. Like, cheating was never off limits. But I feel like Wendy specifically attributes a lot of her career to Kevin and him looking out for her and protecting her in that way. I haven't been able to truly process everything. I think, and I think I'll do so over the next couple of days. Maybe rewatch. I will never probably watch the movie again, but I will probably rewatch the documentary because I think, there was so much, just so many things that could have been unpacked, but so many things that were unpacked. And I think if you're a Wendy fan, I think if you are a pop culture fan, or you're interested in the stories of our black legends, I think it's one to watch. I think there are lessons to be learned here. I think how you move in certain situations and when it's time to go. I think that Wendy can teach us some real lessons. I hate to say this. I know she loves her parents. I think that her parents ain't shit. But I think that, what she's able to display. And I would like to call for this personally. I would like to see more stories told while the people are here. I think we can leave the era of having biopics and, you know, programs from about people when they're dead and we only see the good stuff. I think Wendy will remain legendary because she gives us everything. And if there is a story or a series or a mini series, you know, after she's with us or in her elderly age, and I'm not wishing her out of here at all, I think that we'll have a well-rounded picture because she gave us a lot of the stuff on the forefront. Your thoughts, 844 unmuted. That's